Oh, ma'am. Oh, Jesus, Mary. She felt, as she gasped out this plea for divine help, that part of her own body had been torn from her. The pain of separation was so intense. She stifled a desire to scream for help. It was no use screaming if there was nobody to hear. With a trembling hand, she put down the mug on the mantelpiece. Then she leaned over cautiously to cover Mrs. O'Brien's waxen face with the end of the blanket. Her lips quivered as she sought to keep herself calm. She ran down the stairs and out of the house as if the devil was after her. The street was deserted, the pavement heavy with drops of mist. The damp pierced her tight-fitting cotton blouse, and her heavy black skirt whipped uncomfortably around her legs as she sped round the corner and up the sloping side street to the house where Great Aunt Mary Devlin rented a room. She hammered on the door. Great Aunt Devlin answered the knock herself, so quickly that it seemed as if she must have been waiting on the other side of the door for weeks for just such a call. Half panting, half sobbing, Daisy announced her news. "Me, ma'am. She's gone." She leaned against the door jamb to steady herself, while her normally rosy face drained of colour, and her eyelids drooped over her deep-set blue eyes. "I'll come, love," Mary Devlin wheezed in reply, her wizened face puckered up in sympathy. "You should have put your shawl on, love. You'll catch your own death." With fingers misshapen by arthritis, she lifted her own black shawl over her nearly bald head, then she stepped out and closed the door softly behind her. Great Aunt Devlin spent most of her time with the dead, and her quietness could be unnerving. After viewing the body with experienced, rheumy eyes, Great Aunt Devlin drew 4pence from her apron pocket and pressed it into Daisy's shaking hand. "Ask chemist if he's open, if you can use telephone. You got to tell the club man and ask him to bring the burial money. Then phone Dr. McPherson to come and certify her." Obedient and still tearless, though inwardly shattered, Daisy delivered these 2 messages as fast as her fat legs and empty stomach would permit her. On her way home, she knocked at the door of the house of her sister, Meg Fogarty. The house was one of a row of dilapidated brick houses, opening directly onto the pavement. The door had long since lost its handles, but it did not yield when Daisy tried to push it open. She heard the bolt squeak as Meg Fogarty wriggled it out of its socket. "Hello, what you doing here so early?" Meg inquired, her black-rimmed eyes staring apprehensively out of a gaunt, tired face as she wiped her hands on a grey apron. "What's to do?" Her children crowded behind her, eager to greet their dear Auntie Days. Meg drew in a quick breath, and her round grey eyes with their black circles seemed suddenly much rounder. Her hand went to her mouth in a gesture of shock. "God have mercy on us. Is it ma'am?" "Yes. I've been for the doctor just now. Great Aunt Devlin's with her." Daisy lifted a corner of her apron and agitatedly mopped the sweat from her smooth, broad forehead. Meg's toothless mouth quivered. "She's gone, is it?" Daisy nodded, and the children gaped at her with open-mouthed, jam-smeared faces. Meg's whole body sagged, and she clutched her eldest daughter's shoulder to support herself. "Now, Meg," said Daisy sharply, "don't take on. Pull yourself together. I need help. Get your little Mary to go and tell Agnes and George and Maury Mary and Father Patrick and all the others." Little Mary, on whom Meg was leaning, ran the comb she was holding quickly through her lanky shoulder-length hair. She said eagerly, "I'd love to go, Auntie." Her mother was dabbing her eyes with the back of her hand. Now she sniffed and ordered, "Not now, you don't. You can after school." She said firmly to Daisy, "I'm in a pile of trouble for keeping her home to help me last week." She shut her eyes tightly and added passionately, "Poor ma'am." Daisy sighed. "Well, send her after school then." The whole mystery and the fearsome finality of death struck her forcibly as she shivered on Meg's doorstep. She wanted to scream out loud, "Holy angels at the throne of God! It was unfair to take her from me. Meg's been at sea for 18 months now, and there was only her and me in the house.